Hi everyone, welcome. I'm so happy that you joined this 5-day challenge, and I'm really excited to bring to you what kind of solutions to help your skin improve in the most natural and optimal way. So just to start off, I'm Melissa. I'm a functional medicine health coach who niches with PCOS women and also women with weight loss problems or adrenal thyroid issues, anything that has to do with hormones. I work with them to help them find solutions to balance that. So today I want to talk about how our skin health actually starts from the inside, right? So a lot of us, we think about, okay, our skin, what kind of products we want to put on it, but actually, you know what? Our skin is a reflection of whatever is happening on the inside. So when we think about that, we have to think about, okay, what are the inflammatory processes? What about our gut? What about our hormones, right? How does this all come into being? So before we get started, I just want to paint you a picture of Jane. Imagine Jane is a working adult. She has like a deadline coming up this Saturday, and she's working extra hard every single day. And she's like, oh my god, I don't have the time. I have to work like 20-hour days. I have to work 18-hour days. And so basically what she does is that she pushes through every single day. She works till like midnight. She doesn't get a lot of sleep. She goes for late night snacks. She feels really anxious about the deadline. She doesn't really know if her effort is worth it. Come on. Tell me if this resonates with you, right? She wants to have pizza, like that's her ultimate craving. She doesn't even have time to drink water. So once she gets through a night like that, she will go to the bathroom, wash off all her face with like all kinds of beauty products. She has like a 6-step regime, with all the toner and everything like that. And then she has a glass of wine, because you know what? That's just to chill out, right? Like she wants to relax. She wants to kind of calm herself before going to bed because, the last thing she wants is to actually think about her project before going to her bed. But you know what? It ends up that she doesn't have very good sleep because her mind, instead of being relaxed, she can't get off her mind off her project. Like she keeps thinking about it. She keeps thinking about whether she can get to her deadline or not. And you know what? This is a really real story, right? Like it's a story that many of us align with. If you are a type A woman, you're definitely getting this. Reaching for the alcohol, reaching for pizza. So there are certain points in this story where we have to think about, okay, what interventions can we do here, right? So let's think about it for a minute, right? After the whole night, she eventually breaks out, by the way, the next day. And so let's start from the beginning. So inflammation, which part of this story is contributing to her inflammation? So we want to think about what is she eating, right? Obviously the pizza, the cheese, she has a dairy sensitivity anyway, so that's going to contribute to her level of inflammation. Some people, she would have like congestion in her nose, she would have sinus issues, a lot of sneezing problems. That's also a reason why she couldn't get to sleep. Another source of inflammation to her gut here is from the stress, right? The anxiety, the stress is really getting to her. And, this really affects the bacteria in our gut because they are actually not just bacteria that, whatever food that comes in, they will just eat it. They're actually very, very in tune to how we feel as adults, how we feel emotionally and mentally. So whatever stress we feel, you bet the bacteria in your gut is going to feel that. So what else do we have here? After that, she goes into the bathroom to wash off all her beauty products to wash off all her makeup with all the beauty products that she has. And you know what? A lot of the beauty products, they have chemicals in them, right? They have a lot of ingredients that are listed as fragrance, that are listed as like all kinds of chemical names. And Jane doesn't really get it. Like, all she knows is that this is a pretty good brand on the market. It's a pretty luxurious brand. And she goes through the whole step-by-step basis because on top of meeting a deadline, you know, she needs to feel good. She needs to feel good. And the way she perceives feeling good is by looking good. And so, you know, she buys all these expensive products. She goes through the whole routine of using them. And she wakes up and she breaks out. And Jane's wondering, like, why? Why am I breaking out when I've worked so hard? You know, I try to get sleep. I drank alcohol for me to relax. I clean my face so much. You know, I'm so consistent at this skincare routine. And why am I breaking out right now? Can you guess why? So it's really important to see that the skin inflammation comes from all these lifestyle choices that she made during the week, right? So let's start from the beginning now. Our gut and our skin is actually very similar. They are both really important for protecting us against external agents, right? So your gut, it protects the intestines and everything on the inside from all this food that you're eating from the outside. And our skin is a barrier against obviously external agents. You know, it keeps out pathogens, it keeps out water. It's not as if like we absorb water and then we become so inflated. So our skin does have a lot of functions besides just, you know, making us look good or anything like that. It has a lot of valuable functions and immunological functions. So let's have a little internet connection here. So our gut basically will influence certain pathways in the immune system, and that will contribute to skin inflammation. And you're wondering, Mal, how does this work? Like, what do you mean, like what I eat actually shows up on the skin? Yes, it does. So basically our gut has all these kind of molecules and bacteria, and they influence how our immune system reacts. So two-thirds of our immune system actually resides in the gut. And if you think about it, our immune system has a lining, or our intestines have a lining, and basically whatever that comes in, it filters through this lining before it gets absorbed. So if there are any foreign particles or anything big, your body's like, no, like I don't recognize this as a protein, I don't recognize this as a carbohydrate, I don't recognize this as any sort of nutrient. So what it does is that it will set up an immune system response. It's like, no, you know, setting up an alarm and like trying to get that food particle out. And for example, if you're sensitive to gluten, this could be it. Like, gluten could be inflammatory for you. So basically what happens over time, if you keep eating foods that disrupt your gut lining, your lining will actually have little tears in it. And basically what this means is that you will develop food sensitivities, and particles that are not supposed to enter your gut will actually enter the gut into the immune system. And obviously, you know, once it enters internally more, it will begin to circulate in your bloodstream and all kinds of chaos will happen. And this is how skin inflammation shows up in your skin, because your immune system is reacting and it is sending all kinds of signals throughout your body, and the skin is hit because, you know, that's the only part of our body that is tangible, or we can look, right? We can view it. Anything else that is affected, for example, like joint pain or sinus congestion, is something that we feel or we experience. But anything that pops up on your skin, like acne or flare-ups or blemishes, or even like autoimmune conditions like psoriasis and all, those are all reflections that something is happening in your gut. And you bet that is internal inflammation. So another key modulator here is hormones. So you must be wondering, how does my hormones affect the skin? Like how? So basically, when we talk about the gut, right? The microbiome is affected by certain foods that we eat and basically dysbiosis, meaning there's more bacteria which are pathogenic compared to the beneficial bacteria. If you have tears in your lining, it's called leaky gut. But also our diet actually affects dysbiosis. So whatever you eat, like for example, like Jane, she eats a lot of dairy, which is not even appropriate for her in the beginning. So it actually attributes to this dysbiosis that's happening. And then also if you eat very high sugar content, if you eat a lot of refined carbohydrates or anything processed that does not have a lot of nutrients, right? And those will affect your hormones, because if you develop insulin resistance down the line, if you're high in insulin because of constant sugar coming in, high insulin will eventually lead to high testosterone. And high testosterone will actually cause the release of an increase in conversion into a more androgenic hormone called DHT. And what this means is that DHT actually increases the amount of excessive oil production on your receptors. So what you get is whatever you eat is causing this hormone DHT to increase, and this will lead to more excessive oil production on your face. It leads up to a buildup of dead skin cells, and this will eventually lead to acne. And if you think about it, our skin also has a microbiome. So there are different beneficial bacteria on our skin. And for some of us who have severe acne, this means that your microbiome in your skin is very dysregulated. Probably there's more pathogenic bacteria because maybe of the way you eat or environmental toxins or anything like that. Anything that causes dysbiosis in your skin and the gut will affect the way your skin looks. So I just want to drill this down. Skin inflammation comes from the inside. It is gut related and it's hormone mediated. So our gut, our hormone, and our immune system are all related when it comes to skin health. So if you think about skin health, it's not just about water or green juice. You need to think about, okay, what am I eating? What is affecting my gut health? Am I putting a lot of toxins in my body? Is my immune system good, right? Like if you're always falling sick, or if you're always having like rashes or hives, these are signs that your immune system is not strong, right? Are you eating enough? Are you having a lack of sleep? What's your choice of beverage before bed? Like that's gonna affect your sleep. That's gonna affect how your skin resets during sleep. So to get to the bottom line, our nutrition plays a big role. And what we want is hormones to be balanced, right? Because everything affects your hormones. Our body is interconnected. And so this is an example of how we can look at Jane's life about, going through the whole deadline thing, and then how it relates to her biochemistry response. Because her body is just basically responding appropriately to what she's giving it, right? So our bodies are not broken. It is reacting exactly how it is to how it wants to in order for us to survive. So this brings me to my next point, the point about beauty products, right? So we're talking a lot about diet, we're talking a lot about nutrition and how it affects the microbiome. But what about environmental toxins? Like Jane, she cleans her products. She cleans her skin with so much products, and yes, she breaks out the next day and she's wondering why. And if you are someone who uses a lot of skincare and you're wondering, why is this happening to me? Why is my skin not getting better? You not only want to look at the root causes, of your acne or your skin health problem, but also look at the products that you use. So for example, bonus tip here, for example, an ingredient called fragrance is actually not regulated in the beauty industry. So any manufacturers, they can put whatever they want in it and they can call it fragrance. And basically to us, fragrance is like nice smelling, but actually, it reeks of chemicals, and to be honest, that is going to affect your hormones for sure. So stay tuned, because I'm going to be talking a lot about beauty products, ingredient labels, and environmental toxins in tomorrow's video. That's all for today. I hope you understand now that skin health is really a reflection of our hormonal health and our gut health, and there are so many ways to address this, with lifestyle choices. So don't forget to go to the Facebook group, comment on what do you think about skin inflammation, how is this affecting you, and I'll be going live later on to answer all of your questions.